Hello and welcome to the basement. The year is 2005, and if you're sitting in your lounge room at home in this time, you're likely to have one of these consoles up near the TV. You got the GameCube from Nintendo with this crazy handle on the back of it. You've got the Xbox, huge thing, basically a PC in a fancy case. You've got the Dreamcast. Thanks, Roger. And of course, you've got the most popular one, the PlayStation 2. Sold over 150 million units, which makes it the most popular console in history. But that's all well and good if you're at home in your lounge, but what if you're out and about? Well, there was only one handheld console that was the king of consoles in this time, and it's the Nintendo DS. It is small, it's portable, great battery life, fits in your pocket, and you can flip it open and pick up where you left off. There were no real competitors to this, and Nintendo, unlike the home console market, they really had the portable market sewn up. However, it was into this environment that Sony, encouraged by the success of its PlayStation line of home consoles, developed the Sony PSP Playstation Portable. So this is what we're going to have a look at today. Now you can see it's had a fairly hard life. The screen's all scratched up. It's missing its battery. I don't know if it turns on. We're going to find that out soon. But I don't just have one, I have another one as well in the same condition. The screen looks a little better, but it's also missing its battery. So we're going to pull them apart. I'll find a power pack. We'll throw some power onto them, see if they'll turn on, see what the screen's like, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we've got the two models here. Sony PSP 1003. So this is our first generation 1000 series. And this one here is the Sony PSP 3002, so third generation. So we're going to pull them apart, but we're going to do one at a time. So let's start with the old one and see how we go. Now before we pull it apart, I've found this power cord which fits in there. It says it takes 5 volts. So I've just plugged it into a USB adapter that's 5 volts. So we'll plug that in and see if it powers on. Okay, so just hold this button to turn the power on. Lights come on, that's a good sign. Aha! The screen. Looks like it's had some sort of impact damage on the screen, but it's making a noise which indicates to me that it's booting. I can see some sort of blue down here. I don't know, I've never had one of these, I've never used one, so I don't know if that's the color of the title screen or that's just some random LCD damage down there. So why don't we plug the other one in and see if that gives us anything similar. Okay, so this is the Series 3000. We'll plug it in with the same power cord. It's reading something on is it a memory card? Oh, now it's giving us some screen here. And set the time and date. Okay, so maybe this one is working. I don't know if there's something we can try here, some sort of game we can try to test it out. As it happens, I do have this, which was in one of them, and it's a pretty dodgy old looking sellotape together thing. What's it? Grand Theft Auto. So let's put it in and see what happens. Goes that way around, I presume. Oh, yep. And I can hear something whirring away. Right. Game UMD. Oh, there we go. So something's loaded up. Now you can see there's these lines across the screen here. So there's some damage on this one as well. It's not entirely okay. So we'll look at, see if we can get this one fixed. Yeah, now you can see those green lines quite clearly. And that's obviously damage, and we'll see if we can get that fixed. So we're back on the first one. We'll pull it apart and we'll see if we can fix that broken screen. Now the first thing we have to do is pull off the battery cover, which it didn't have a battery cover when it came, so I guess we don't need to worry about that. So the next step is to remove the front casing, and there's some screws in here which we'll start with. Phillips head 00. So it says on that label, guarantee void if seal is damaged. Oh, it's quite a tough sticker. So those 4 screws done. The next step is to remove the screw from the underside. There it is there. And again, it's a different length screw to the other ones. Now the other 2 screws are in the back here, and my screwdriver doesn't fit in, so I've had to find another screwdriver. Ah, there we go, just some dirt stuck in it. But check there's no memory card in there. There's one screw and the other screw. So now it should come apart somehow. Where this has to come apart from here. Ah, there we go. So that's the button board. It's still connected via the ribbon. Oh, there we go. Right, I'll set that aside. Now, this LCD frame looks like it's just held in with clips as well. Not a lot of screws. And again, we've got a few ribbon cables. There we go, it's lifting up. Let's lift it up. Cable out. It's funny because it doesn't look like there's anything wrong just by looking at it, but obviously when it turned on it had that damage in the middle. Okay, so you can see we have our replacement screen, and it's the same as the one we've taken out, even still made by Sharp, which is a relief. It's not just some rando screen, and same part numbers, so hopefully it should just plug in and we are good to go with one fixed PSP. I'm presuming we just put it together the way the other one came apart, so let's try that now. There we go. It's just slid in. Oh, it's hard to get. I don't want to break it. It feels very delicate. There we go. That plastic is down and it's locked in place. Oh, almost. I think that might be it. Let's push it in a bit further. There we go. It looks good to me. Let's just push that down. Okay, I think that's worked. Okay, so I've got our 5 volts power here. Plug that in and hold the on switch. There we go. Our power light's coming on. Oh, look at that. Sony Computer Entertainment. Fancy little blue screen. And set the time and date. I think the enter button was this one. Yes. Alright. There we go. Now, before we put the faceplate on, you can see that that's pretty scratched up and it's pretty nasty looking. So what I've got is this one here. I wanted a black one, but I couldn't find a black one, so I've got a white one. So we're going to have to swap the buttons over. I probably should have left that plastic on, so we wouldn't scratch the screen while we're swapping our buttons over. Never mind. So now we have our new plate. The old plate, we don't need that anymore. Ah yes, and you can see that we have on the bottom of this, we have this tab here, which is broken on this one. That's a shame. We'll see if it makes a difference to the finished product. Okay, so before we put it back together, we'll give it a bit of a clean. You can see my fingerprints on there. Oh, that screen is dirty, so dirty already. Let's give ourselves some power. Everything we have is a battery, so there's a battery pack. We'll put that in, and there's no door here. There we go. So we've got a red light here under power. I presume that means the battery's charging. But let's turn it on. Up and down works, left, right works. So what we want to do now is reset and update. Obviously there's no memory stick inserted. Network Update has found a later version to download. Insert a memory stick with at least 32 megabytes free space and press the X button. Now this is back in the day when Sony thought memory stick was still a good idea, before they had conceded defeat to the memory card war and SD cards took over. So I do happen to have a memory stick here, 16 gigabytes, so that's plenty of space. Great, so that's going to download. I'll set that aside and we'll let that update. So here we have the second one, the 3000 series, and we're going to do the same to that. We're going to pull it apart and put a new screen in. Now this is slightly different, but we're going to just follow the same procedure as before. You can see already there's different layout of screws in the back here. These are in a slightly different place, and it's got that one there. So let's get pulling it apart and see where we end up. Same deal. We'll lift up the large black lever, and this one goes the other way. Honestly, this is the hardest part of the whole procedure, is getting all the dust off. Now I'll have another battery for this one. In she goes. Alright, let's see if there's any charge in the battery. Oh well, look, there is. The time and date, 2 bars on the battery, no green lines, look at that. Now we have already downloaded the update on this memory card. I wonder if we can swap the cards over and update this one. Update via storage media. Okay. Look at that, I think it's going to do it. So, great success. We managed to get them both fixed, taken apart, put back together, working again, new batteries, new battery covers on them. They are not quite factory original, but they're clean and working. So I'm pretty happy with that. I was a bit nervous about pulling them apart. A lot of little fiddly pieces there, but if you take your time and just be logical about the steps, then it all kind of works out okay. We still have a bit of an issue with this one that's now white. With the cheap case, that tab was broken off and it's not pulling the case tightly shut. So I might look at getting another case for that, another faceplate, and getting that fixed properly. But as for now, I've got 2 working PSPs, so guess what I'm going to do tonight? That's right, bit of gaming.